I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what? Because like I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that that friendship should not, in our business, I think it's important. Listen, friendship should not trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Megyn Kelly is out here playing dumb, acting like she has no idea what's happening. No. She knows what's happening, okay? She, she's on social media herself. She's a journalist. Candace Owens podcast is #1 in the world. So she has people who work for her. Everybody knows what Candace Owens is doing. You don't have to like it, but you cannot be claiming ignorance that you don't know, especially somebody like Megyn Kelly. I don't buy it. I can understand somebody who's not on social media. You'd be like, oh, I have no idea what Candace is up to, right? Whether you support her or you don't, but you know what's going on, what's happening. Because it's not like Candace Owens just did one episode and then she's off to the sunset. Okay? I mean, I have lost count right now, guys. How many of this, the so-called episode, whatever investigation that she's on, right? That she has done. So for Megyn Kelly to come out to say like, okay, she doesn't know, that's a lie. I don't buy it. And then furthermore, she went on to say like, oh, I'm not the mother of the internet. No, whoever said that she's a mother of the internet. She's in this business. She's in the business of bringing information to our audience. She's in the business of offering critiques. She's in the business of, she's a journalist. That's who she is. So for her to pretend like she doesn't know anything that's going on, it's a lie. Not only that, Megyn Kelly was friends with Charlie Kirk. Megyn Kelly, I think she's also been on Turning Point, whatever, people are going to campuses. She's done those things, right? And people have asked her, not even once. One of the students asked her about Candace Owens, so she responded. So for her to be playing dumb like she doesn't know what's going on, I don't buy it. So here is Megyn Kelly, okay, debunking what Ben Shapiro said, okay? But we have receipts. So I'm like, okay, Megyn, are you, like, what's going on over here? So for her to pretend like, okay, she doesn't, I'm sure she's not going to watch all the stuff that Candace is doing, that I believe it. But she has the general idea of what's going on. So watch this, what Megyn Kelly said about Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, okay? Here we go. All right.
He said that Candace has been claiming Erica Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had not heard. And I was taken aback because that seems like something I would have heard. It's so crazy. And I have since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim. And in fact, I've now seen several clips of Candace specifically defending Erica Kirk and saying she would never make a claim like that about Erica, and that she is open-minded to other people at Turning Point. That's obvious. She's been making that point. I had heard that point. But she's specifically been defending Erica Kirk. And she's been saying she does not think that of Erica. And in fact, if you read her comments, she's under pressure to make comments about Erica. And so far, what I've seen, she hasn't. So thank you for that question.
Where have you been, Megyn Kelly?
Semester, which would be in the fall. They would go backwards. You don't instantly get approved for an event at Turning Point USA. It reeks of an inside job. That is how I feel. And the more that we learn about the story, the little changes that happen, the inexplicable things that we're learning, it becomes clearer and clearer that somehow at some layer, at some stage, Turning Point USA is involved because they're giving us no clarity. Why?
So the question that I ask to you is this: who is in charge of Turning Point?
Please tag Megyn Kelly and TPUSA in the comments.
He said to me last week, we had a conversation. She said, after he died, I went in and I started going through his diaries. I was reading the last few pages and everything else. She said, I started reading him. She said, he left me the plans for 2028. He left me the budgets for the future. She said, he left this for me. And she is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, TPUSA is in really good hands, I think, with her.
What do you hope to achieve for Charlie and for the country?
Oh my goodness. All of his wildest dreams for this organization and more. He left me a blueprint and all of his journals, but more so.
But wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? Maybe call one of his many lawyers? Maybe formalize it in a will? Because that's what you're supposed to do if you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan. You make a will. I'm sure he had a will. But no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks. And then the plan was to guilt us, I think, to try to haunt us with the ghost of Charlie's notebooks that we're never going to be allowed to read, but we're supposed to accept that they most definitely read. Like, for sure. That's what it feels like. Do you agree? I think their thought process was it will be much easier for us to control the spirit of Charlie Kirk than the actual living, breathing Charlie Kirk. I am telling you guys, when we go back and we look at the calendar and we see that request went out in mid-July, it drives me insane. It just screams at me that this was an inside job, okay? It reeks of an inside job. That is how I feel. And the more that we learn about the story, the little changes that happen, the inexplicable things that we're learning, it becomes clearer and clearer that somehow at some layer, at some stage, Turning Point USA is involved because they're giving us no clarity. I want you to imagine you get a phone call, okay, from whoever saying that the person that you love most in this world and the person that you are married to has been shot. How fast are you getting off that phone? You're staying on the phone. You're asking questions. There's a series of questions that need to be answered. You scream. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where is he? Where do I go? Blah, blah, blah. Is he okay? There are a litany of questions that would be asked. And please don't tell me that this is some situation where that wouldn't be the circumstance. And I am so tired of the you wouldn't know what you would do. I do know that you're asking a series of questions. I need clarification because every day that goes on, it feels to me like Turning Point is engaged in a cover-up. And there's no other way to say this. There's no other way. I don't care who at Turning Point tweets. I literally do not care. I will breathe fire on all of you. I know how these events work. Why was the event confirmed so quickly when it was requested so late? Answer these questions. I need answers to these questions to understand what happened on that day. Be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you because I know this isn't right. And there's no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. And I'm going to tell you guys, Charlie had a vision. Charlie Kirk did in fact know that Turning Point was going to be the death of him, and I approve of that. He also knew that I was the only person who was going to step up to defend him after he was gone. That sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
Don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie Kirk curse. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I have discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed by everyone. And notice, she actually put a full stop to make sure by everyone, everybody should see. So the question to ask Megyn Kelly, does everyone include Erica Kirk? She hasn't said Erica Kirk, but she has implicated Turning Point USA. And who is in charge of Turning Point USA is Erica Kirk. So you cannot tell me, like just right now, right? Who is in charge of the administration is Donald Trump. So you're just going to implicate the entire administration, but not Donald Trump. Does that work that way? The buck stops with who? The buck stops with the president. The buck stops with Erica Kirk because she's in charge of Turning Point USA. If something happens to a spouse, who is the first suspect they go to? If it's a husband, they're going to go to the wife. It's the wife, they're going to go to the husband. That's just how it works. So there's no way Candace Owens can accuse everybody else who's around Charlie Kirk and then not accuse Erica Kirk. No. And the idea that Candace Owens has defended Erica Kirk is also a lie. Okay, people were asking, like, how come you're not saying anything about Erica Kirk? Because, you know, the Erica Kirk hugging the vice president with her hands in, you know, the vice president's head, that wasn't a good look. But like, Candace, you always talk about everybody else. How come you haven't said anything else about Erica Kirk? What's up with that issue? That's what it is. It's not about Candace Owens, quote unquote, defending Erica Kirk. No, she's just doing it on purpose. Talk about everybody else, but Erica Kirk. But by implication, Erica Kirk is also implicated.